Hello, everybody, and welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Shane.
大家好，我是 Bernice.
Okay, and so today we are looking at day 2 of spaghetti, the world's favorite pasta. Right? And I think that that's kind of true, right? I mean, when we think about pasta, you're definitely going to be thinking about spaghetti.
没错
It's classic.
对，所以刚刚 Shane 老师一开始就讲，我们今天呢一样是在我们的美食飨宴，我们进入到我们第2天的课程了。那我们今天一样来讲这个意大利面，就是我们要讲到它的一些起源啦。所以我们知道刚才一开始我们有讲spaghetti 跟 pasta 它的差异性就是 spaghetti 是那种细细的面，那 pasta 是所有意大利面的统称。然后我们原本以为它是从 China Marco Polo 那个时候所引进的，结果发觉好像又不是，好像是阿拉伯人那个时候在统治西西里岛的时候，所以它的这个历史呢确实是有点 tangled 的，有点纠缠不清的。
And I think it's also a little bit confusing when we start to think about the difference between noodles and pasta, right? So getting that idea clear is a bit confusing too, because I think we've had things like noodles, but when did it become like pasta? And what's the difference,
对，
right?
所以就是 noodles 跟 pasta 的一个差异性。
Okay, so let's get into today's lesson.
好的。
Spaghetti, the world's favorite pasta. Spaghetti is one of the most popular dishes around the world. Wherever there are Italian restaurants, you will find spaghetti on the menu. Originally, spaghetti was only served with tomato sauce. Over the years, regional variations of spaghetti have been created across the world. How did this particular dish become so popular? The pasta industry had already prospered in Italy for hundreds of years. When early waves of Italian immigrants brought the recipe with them to America in the 20th century. Spaghetti quickly became popular with people outside the Italian-American community. Campbell's Soup Company was the first major American company to market canned noodles. Other international manufacturers, such as Del Monte and Barilla, soon began marketing dried noodles across the world. The key to spaghetti's success most likely lies in the fact that it is easier to make and enjoy compared to other dishes. Production of spaghetti and other types of pasta has doubled in the last 20 years. Today, spaghetti is not just a staple food of Italy, but it is appreciated all over the world as well.
Okay, so let's continue learning about spaghetti. Spaghetti is one of the most popular dishes around the world. There's no denying that. I don't think you can go to any country and not find spaghetti somewhere on the menu, right?
对，
Okay.
即使在美国这个地方，你也可以看到很多的这个 spaghetti 的出现。所以他一开始呢就讲说，其实意大利面呢就是世界上最受欢迎的这个菜肴之一。Around the world， 我们可以用 worldwide W-O-R-L-D-W-I-D-E， 也可以用这个字。
Okay, so wherever there are Italian restaurants, you will find spaghetti on the menu, right? So, of course, if you go to an Italian restaurant, it would be pretty much impossible for them to not have spaghetti. If they didn't, you would ask the owner, what's wrong with this place? You need spaghetti here.
没错。所以刚刚Shane老师的意思就是说，你如果到了一个意式餐、意大利餐厅里面，不太可能说你今天要点餐说，对不起，我们没有 spaghetti。 人家想说啊，那你这个餐厅还叫意大利餐厅吗？对不对？你干脆改别的算了，所以这是不太可能的。所以 wherever 就是无论是哪一个地方，意思就是说只要你去到好有这个意大利式的这个餐厅的这个地方呢，你绝对可以在他们的菜单上面找到有意大利面这个菜肴。
Right, it's like going to an Indian restaurant and they don't have curry on the menu, you know.Of course they're going to have it.
对，所以印度餐厅就应该有咖喱这个东西呀。
Okay, so originally, spaghetti was only served with tomato sauce. Oh, okay. So, you know, sauce is just a thick liquid that that adds flavor to food, right? So, it's originally just tomato sauce. That was all that you would put on spaghetti.
对，所以这个 originally 就是 at first，就是起初的时候呢，我们吃这个意大利面的时候，它其实当初要用 was， 因为我们讲的是起初一开始的时候，一开始的时候呢，那个 spaghetti 当你吃的时候呢，它是被怎么样呢？ Be served with， 意思就是说它只有这样子提供这样的一个服务，所以它就是上面只有搭配什么呢？这个番茄酱。那可能有人会说，哎，老师，那 tomato sauce 跟 ketchup 有什么不一样？ketchup。那老师稍微去查了一下 ，ketchup 其实是从19世纪美国有一个科学家哈，那么他那个时候呢，就是用大量的 tomatoes， 就是那个番茄作为基底，然后它其实呢 ketchup 是来自于鱼露，啊，它其实不是叫番茄酱，那只是它去改良了鱼露，然后呢它里面加了这个 tomatoes， 加上这个番茄在里面，然后其实呢这个 ketchup 它的来源是这个样子。好，所以也是一样，这是一个历史的故事。那 tomato sauce 就是我们刚才讲的，就是纯粹用番茄去熬煮出来的酱。所以意大利面原本它起源是搭配这个用番茄熬煮出来的酱一起吃的。
Right, and when you see that word originally there too, you know that something is going to change. So it was like this in the beginning. So when you see originally, you know that it's going to mean that it changes, right?
没错。
Yeah. Okay. So continuing, over the years, regional variations of spaghetti have been created across the world. Okay, so when we say like regional, we just mean from a particular region or area, right? So regional variations, that just means that there's going to be different types that are going to be based on the original and change a little bit. To vary means to have slight changes to the original thing.
没错。好，所以呢，接下来就是过了多年之后呢 ，regional 刚刚老师在解释这个字呢，原本就是一个 specific area， 就是一个很特定的一个地区，所以就出现了这种在不同的地理分区上面，好这样的一个variation， 就是刚刚老师讲的，它其实就是变化了，好就出现了这个意大利面的这个变化，而且这个变化呢，已经怎么样呢？在世界各地都创造出来它的不同的变化的形式，就是说可能在不同的国家里面，这个意大利面就有不同的吃的一个方法。
Well, yeah, I noticed that in Taiwan, when I go to an Italian restaurant where they serve spaghetti, it's a little bit different than the places where I would go, like an Italian restaurant in the United States. So, you know, every region is going to have their own way that they vary it or different variations of it.
没错，所以因为 region 这个字本来就是按照地理的这个分区的，所以呢，不同的地方它可能针对不一定是食物、衣服啊，任何我们日常生活的东西都会有一些改变。
Okay, so how did this particular dish become so popular? Right? So why don't we take a break and let's find out why it's so popular?
对，所以我们等一下呢，下一段就来看看到底为什么这个菜肴呢，好，这个特别的菜肴是如此的可以变成这么样的受欢迎呢？我们就进入到我们的第二段喽。
Okay, welcome back. So as we promised, we're going to look at how did spaghetti become so popular? We know everyone knows it, but why? Why did it become popular in the first place? Okay, so continuing, the pasta industry had already prospered in Italy for hundreds of years when early waves of Italian immigrants brought the recipe with them to America in the 20th century.
Wow, such a long sentence.
Right. So the pasta industry had already prospered. That just means that this industry, the 行业, right, was already doing very well in Italy for hundreds of years, right? And then Italian immigrants left to America. Right? And when they got to America, of course, they're going to bring their staple food with them, right?
对，所以这个句子呢，因为非常非常的长，所以我们先来看一下前面的第一个这个子句，它是说呢，其实意大利面这个产业呢，很早就已经开始 prosper。我们知道这个 prosper 就是刚刚老师讲的，它是兴盛啦、繁荣啦。当然，你也可以用另外一个字叫 thrive，T-H-R-I-V-E 这个字也是可以的。他说，所以其实早就已经在意大利好几百年的时间，好，这一个当时的意大利面的这个产业就已经兴盛了数百年了。那个时间点是什么时间点呢？就是当时呢有早期的这一个所谓的意大利的这个 immigrants， 就是有一个移民移入者的这个移民浪潮，就是当时意大利的移民潮，早期的意大利潮。移民潮移进来的时候，他们当时就 brought， 所以 brought 这边是过去式，因为他们移民进来的时候是过去式，所以呢，早就在这个之前，它就已经繁荣兴盛了。所以另外我们刚刚讲那个 prosper， 它就要用过去完成式。所以我们知道这两个时态就是有一个更早的，比过去式更早，我们用过去完成式；那稍微晚一点的，就是用过去式。所以当时呢，这个意大利的移民浪潮呢，就带着当时的 recipe， 就是它的食谱，跟着他们，然后一起呢就到了美国，时间点是在20世纪。
Right. Okay. Wow. That was a long sentence.
Yeah.
Okay. So continuing, spaghetti quickly became popular with people outside the Italian American community. Right. So they're in America and they're from Italy, so we call them Italian Americans, and their community is the community of people who are all Italian American.
没错。
But it started to become popular outside that community, so maybe with Irish Americans or different, Americans from all different places in the world.
没错。好，所以呢，接下来呢，就是因为呢，当时他们这些移民的这些人呢，就把这样的一个东西，这个食谱带到了美国之后，很快的 spaghetti 呢，就在当时的意大利裔的美国人社区，就是刚才像老师解释的，就是这个 community 里面呢，原本就是住一些他们就是移民嘛，但他们已经变成美国人了。好，那我们就会说他们是 Italian American。可是它是 outside 的哦，所以就是表示它已经在这个社区以外的地方都很快的就受到了欢迎了。
Okay. Continuing, Campbell's Soup Company was the first major American company to market canned noodles.
Oh.
Yeah, so Campbell's Soup is a really huge company in America until today.
Okay.
And I remember growing up, I would always have Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Right? And they would also have like spaghetti, canned spaghetti, where all you need to do is just put it in the saucepan and warm it all up. And you had a meal. I lived on those cans of spaghetti and their canned noodles growing up. Like that was like one of my staple foods.
对，所以对于Shane老师来说呢，他讲的是鸡汤面的这个罐头，他从小的时候就吃这个东西长大的。好，所以他就现在就讲到了这间公司啊，这个公司我们中文呢就把它翻成这个所谓的金宝汤，黄金的金，宝贝的宝汤。好，这间公司呢其实就是当时第一个major 就是主要的，好，它是当时最主要的这个美国的这个公司，很大型的一个公司。 然后他当时呢就 market 这个 market 我们当然知道它是推销啊行销出来，就是把它
advertise
对，就把它放出来在市场里面。那个时候他把这一个面条呢做成 canned 就是罐头式的面条。
Okay. Continuing, other international manufacturers such as Del Monte and Barilla soon began marketing dried noodles across the world. Right? So when you go into any grocery store, pretty much anywhere in the world, you're going to see basically dried noodles that are going to be in a whole section with all different varieties of pasta and noodles. Yeah, and so it's because of big companies like Del Monte and Barilla.
Okay.
We have these everywhere.
好，所以接下来呢，又有2间的这个国际的制造商，好，这2间的这个 international， 他们都是国际的这个制造商，很快的呢，他们呢也开始呢在亚洲的各地呢去做这个 marketing。我们刚刚到这个 market 就是你去推销它啦，你去促销它啦。好，不过他当时促销的是 dry 的，刚才前面那个金宝汤是 canned 的，它现在是 dry 的，就是干的。好，这个面条。
And in a can, it's going to be liquid, right? So it's going to not be dry.
对，所以就是你放在罐头里面，它还是湿湿的这样子。
Pour it out, heat it up, and you can eat it.
对，
right?
因为美国人他们一定要用 microwave oven， 所以你就把它倒出来，放进去微波炉，叮就可以吃了。对，那现在它是变成就是干的面条，然后也是在这个世界各地好都有行销的。
Okay, let's take a short break and we'll come back and learn more about why spaghetti is so popular. Okay, so still continuing finding out and what made spaghetti so popular. And so we see that basically speaking, it's because of, it's just spreading around the world because of big manufacturers. And, when people have something in front of them, they're going to want to try it, right?
That's true.
Okay, so continuing, the key to spaghetti's success most likely lies in the fact that it is easier to make and enjoy compared to other dishes, right? So when we say it most likely lies in the fact, we just mean because of the fact. So if we looked for why is it so successful, it's going to be because of the fact that it's easier to prepare than other dishes.
没错，所以呢，这边我们就要探讨，因为我们知道刚才轩老师就说了，意大利面这么快的在全世界各地都受到欢迎，它一定有它成功的秘诀，就是这个 key。所以呢，它这个秘诀呢，这个关键 to， 记得介系词要用 to。对于 spaghetti 之所以这么成功，这样的一个关键，这样的秘诀呢，很有可能 most likely 非常有可能 lies in 就是在于，也就是刚刚老师讲的 because of 就是因为这个原因。好，所以它到底为什么可以这么快速的成功呢？它这个因素呢，这个要诀呢，就在于以下这样的一个事实，就是呢，第一个 spaghetti 它非常容易去做。就是你要去制作意大利面，就是煮个水 boil the water， 然后把那个 noodles 放进去就可以啦。好，所以呢，第一个它很容易制作，或者是像老师刚刚讲，买一个 canned， 对不对？就可以吃到了，对不对？或 dry 的，对啊。好，然后再来呢，就是它也很容易的去享用它。那跟什么来做比较呢 ？Compared to， 就是与什么来相比较？跟其他的一些 dishes。好，就是比如说像美国他们吃的汉堡没有办法放到微波炉里面叮就好了啊，你要中间夹很多东西在里面。
Some stuff needs to be hot, some stuff needs to be cold, like the lettuce is so, and you have to have bread, and it's
对，你的莴苣要是冷的嘛，那你的肉啊要是热的啊，就很麻烦，对不对？所以你看 spaghetti 多么容易制作呢？所以这就是它其中一个成功的秘诀了。
Right. Okay. So production of spaghetti and other types of pasta has doubled in the last 20 years.
Oh.
Wow, doubled in the last 20 years. That is crazy. So production, to produce, just means to make something, right? To come up with this thing and produce it, right? And doubled just means 2 times.
Yes.
Right? So that's pretty incredible. I
没错。
wonder why in the last 20 years it's doubled. Maybe because the amount of people in the world
yeah,
are
maybe.
more, but who knows? That's so interesting though.
And it's easy to get, easy to buy, right? And
Right.
become maybe cheaper. Okay. Also, there's another reason.
And people are more and more busy, I think. Busier
right.
and busier, so you want something convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Quick to prepare and delicious.
Yeah, that's true. 所以我们刚刚就在讨论说，怎么可以在过去这20年来，它的这个产量就翻倍呢？当然，它里面可能有很多原因，就像我们刚刚讨论的，可能它除了它很容易的准备，很容易的享用，那也是人们越来越忙啦。好，那大家呢就想要快一点，这个东西赶快煮一煮就可以吃了，哈，或者是它也价格变得比较便宜，等等等。所以呢，这个时候我们就讲到这个意大利面它的这个产量呢。还有呢，其他的一些跟 pasta， 我们刚刚讲，就是其他的意大利面的这些面条呢，都在过去20年来呢，它的这个产量都是翻倍了，就是变2倍咯。
Wow, so impressive. Okay, so today, spaghetti is not just a staple food of Italy, but is appreciated all over the world as well. So remember, a staple just means like a basic food that anybody is going to have in their home, or if they're going to a restaurant, it's something that you're going to be eating quite commonly. And yeah, I mean, even in Taiwan, you know, people always are going to eat spaghetti and going to Italian restaurants for spaghetti, because I think that in almost every culture, we're used to eating this type of a thing, and it's just simple. But delicious.
没错，对，所以就是说，这个 spaghetti 它之所以这么受欢迎，而且它产量又翻倍啊，所以呢，就是因为这个食物呢，它其实到了今天，它已经不是在属于意大利的了啊，它不是意大利人的这个主食了哦，好。它现在呢是怎么样的 ？But 就是这个东西呢 ，not but 就是不是 A 而是 B，所以它已经不是只有在意大利好的这个主食，而是呢它现在在全世界 as well 就是它也在全世界呢都被人家所 appreciated， 都被人家 valued VALUED 被大家重视赏识的一个东西了。也就是说，全世界各地你可以看到很多人大家都喜欢吃意大利面。
Yes. Well, I know I love it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't,
Me too.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's a very interesting history of spaghetti, and thank you very much for joining us for these lessons, and we hope you learned something.
Yeah, I hope so.
I know I did.
Yeah, I did.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.